This I say, he which soweth sparingly shall reap also sparingly, and he which soweth bountifully shall reap also bountifully. Every man according as he purposeth in his heart, so let him give, not grudgingly or of necessity, for God loveth a cheerful giver. The liberal soul shall be made fat, and he that watereth shall be watered also himself. Giving can be done through Patreon, PayPal, or Cashapp. All links are in the description. As stated over the years, if you do give, let it be in accordance with the scriptures. Love you. Let's get it. How you doing, everybody? Welcome back to Stand Focused for Jesus. Hope each and every one of you are having a blessed day. And the Lord Jesus Christ, as always. Today is Wednesday, July 19th, 2023. Wednesday, July 19th, 2023. The time is currently 4:42, about to be 4:43 p.m. Let's go ahead and get into it. So what happened was, I always wondered this for a while, but I never looked it up. I was checking the weather, checking the temperature and stuff like that, and everybody knows it's extremely hot. I think a few weeks ago, maybe a week or two ago, they said that, I think it was on Monday, it was the hottest day recorded ever. We talking about collectively around the world. It's only going to get worse, y'all. This heat is only going to get worse. This crazy weather is only going to get worse. I think last year here in Hot Springs, Arkansas, where we live at, we didn't even really have a winter in comparison to the winters before. Y'all know we went through that super duper bad winter storm that hit Texas and stuff like that. Snow and ice and everything is normal weather for Hot Springs, Arkansas. It's kind of cool because we get all four seasons. But when that storm had hit a few years ago, it was bad because we normally get snow, we normally get ice and stuff like that. But the year after that, it really wasn't a winter like we normally get. And this is all part of Bible prophecy. It's all a part of Bible prophecy. The world is going to continue to heat up. What they call global warming is simply the judgment of God. They just are trying to deceive people by using these different terms. The globe is warming. It is heating up. And there are many factors to that. Rather they are man-made or it's the judgment of God. It's getting hotter. Everybody sees that. It's pretty simple. When I was looking at the weather, on the app and stuff like that, I always come across a thing. It says air quality. And one day I was like, well, is it the higher the number is better or the lower the number is better? And I forgot what I was looking at, but it was talking about air quality. And the number was up. It was like 101. So like, okay. So I was talking to my wife about it. And we were laying in bed. And I still haven't researched it to truly understand it. But she sent me this screenshot. And I found it very, very, very interesting. She said, read number, I think was it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. She said, yeah, 0.6 and 7, which is what we have right here. Now, mind you, I wasn't looking for anything dealing with black folks, African Americans, or nothing like that. I was just curious about the air quality numbers. And this is something, again, that I've been curious about for a while. I just haven't researched it. Part of it because they said the air quality here is better. So I was comparing the air quality from where I came from, which is Columbus, Georgia, to the air quality here. I'm like, okay, is the air quality better? Because I felt better. The air, I could just breathe better. It literally felt different. And of course, we know we don't strictly go on our feelings. You do have something called the placebo effect and everything like that. But I want to know the science behind it. So again, she sent me this and I was like, okay, that's very, very interesting. And the Spirit of God spoke to me. And, it's not going to be a long video, but I just want to bring this up to you to show you what's really going on. So we're going to start at the top, and then we're going to just read down. Of course, you probably already read the points that I, highlighted with my finger. The Air Pollution Control Act of 1955 was the nation's first legislation aimed at air pollution. Air pollution particles can be smaller than 1/30th the diameter of your hair, making them ideal for inhalation and passing by the body's defenses. Particle pollution can lead to increased risk of lung cancer, heart attack, strokes, and emergency room visits. The second one is pretty interesting. Am I reading this wrong, y'all? It says making them ideal for inhalation and passing by the body's defenses. Now, why would they allow air pollution particles? We ain't talking about just natural air pollution particles, but we're talking about the ones that are man-made. It seemed like they're saying that, hey, we allow them to be smaller than this, so they can pass for inhalation and they can pass your body's defenses. Maybe I'm reading that wrong, but the wisdom I do have, I'm like, nah, they're purposely doing this, and we know the world we live in. And one reason is, if you go study the effects of sprays like Lysol and so on and so on and so on, I think on the bottle nowadays it tells you that these products can cause cancer because of the particles that are in it that can bypass your body's defenses and go straight into your lungs and so on and so on and so on. Many of us already know this, but again, I'm making the connections for you just in case you didn't. And hopefully this helps you to make some more connection within yourself. I mean, but why? Why not make it where it's big enough where it doesn't? Because they have the technology where if you spray it, it can be small, and then when it comes out, it can get bigger, where it cannot pass the body's defenses. We have that technology. So we really know what's going on, right? They want to pollute the air because the air is symbolic of what? The spirit. God breathed into Adam. He became a living soul. Why is it they want to dirty the air up? Because they want your spirit to be dirty. They want your soul to be dirty. They want to kill you. What does the word say? The devil comes to what? Kill, steal, and destroy. Satan is the prince of the power of the air. Satan is dirty, and therefore he wants God's creation dirty. And God is allowing it as what? As judgment. Particle pollution can lead to increased risk of lung cancer, heart attacks, strokes, and emergency room visits. Very, very interesting. Why? We're living in a time period where it is extremely hot. And the heat increases your chances of heart attacks, heat strokes, and so on and so on and so on, right? The increase in wildfires across the United States adds to particle air pollution via spreading smoke. Over 18 million people live in counties that got an F for all three air pollution measures in State of the Air 2023. I think that's something that I'm going to research on my own, just out of my own curiosity. Now, I want to know where certain places fall at. And, I factor things like that into moving. If we have to move or something like that, where do we go? Then we get to the points we want to get to. Over 64 million Americans, 54% of the 120 million total who live in areas with unhealthy air quality are people of color. Over 50% of the American population that has unhealthy air is quote unquote black folk. Of course, you can include, people of color. We know we're talking about Latinos and so on, so on, so on. But you get my point. We know who they are purposely targeting. Now, again, I wasn't looking for this. My wife just happened to send this to me. But it was like, interesting. Very, very interesting. A part of this is because they are attacking us, and a part of it is because of the judgment of God. You see, the evidence for the curses being upon our people specifically is all around. And yet they try to tell us, no. People of color were 3.7 times as likely to live in a county with a failing grade for all three of the American Lung Association's air pollution measure. So most of these counties, it's talking about black counties. Most of these counties is talking about black counties. Interesting. Now let's go over here to this post I made. I'm not necessarily read that because I just explained it to you. I don't have to go into detail because you see the picture. We know the importance of clean air. But let's add some puzzle pieces together. We see that black populations have the dirtiest air. That will also mean, I'm not going to say it because y'all know how they do. Can we say it or can we not say it? We're not going to say it this time. You see it on the screen right there. I'm going to highlight it for those who are listening. Look real fast and you'll see. Right there. That will also mean these things will most likely be in these areas the most. Even if they weren't, this will still contribute to dirty air. So not only are they primarily attacking us through food, DNA, education, water, and every area you can think of, but also the air. The question you must ask yourself is why. I think we already answered that question. A study found that inhaled particles from environmental pollutants accumulate over decades inside immune cells and lymph nodes associated with the lung, eventually weakening the cell's ability to fight respiratory infections. Let me ask something, because you know how we do. I put some on Facebook, and if the Lord leads me to expound on it, here we are. This is one reason why fasting is so important. Now, when you fast, you're not just supposed to be fasting, and when you fast, you're supposed to substitute it for something. And that something is the Word of God, which is going to build your spirit up more and more and more and more. Another reason fasting is important on a physical level, because it helps to reset the body, reset the cells, but more importantly, it cleanses out them toxins. It cleanses out those toxins. It cleanses out those lymph nodes. You got lymph nodes under your arms. You got lymph nodes down there in your private area, if I remember correctly. If you just take your fingers right there where that V cut is, right there at the top of that V, if I'm not mistaken, you have lymph nodes. So if you feel right there where your lymph nodes are at, right there where that V cut is in your private area, and it's swollen, then you know something is going on with your lymphatic system. If you got a swollen under the armpits, then you know something is going on with your lymphatic system. It's letting you know. That's a symptom. Like, hey, it could be clogged. There could be something you ate where your body reacted to it and trying to get it out of your body. You know, everybody has to do their own, diagnosis within themselves. Matter of fact, since we're talking about it, let's go ahead and get it. Lymph node locations in body. So we go over to the images and let me enlarge this. Y'all give me a second so we can see it. Okay, so you got these cervical lymph nodes that's like in your throat. You got one, I guess your tonsils would be included in your lymph nodes. You know, that's very interesting because they promote removing the tonsils when they are inflamed. Maybe the tonsils become inflamed as part of your lymph node or the lymphatic system to let you know that something is wrong and you need to cleanse your lymphatic system. That's very, very interesting, right? You got the thymus, which is literally means shield. I remember that. Let me show you real fast. This is why words are so important. Thymus tells you gland near the base of the neck. Literally thyme or thyme. It's like it says, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, thine or mine. I'm just saying. So we go over here and we look at it. It tells you what? Plant of the mint family. And directly from, you see this word, and then you jump down, it means smoke. For its scent, or from being burned as a sacrifice. So they're trying to say, that's doubtful, but we can put it together. Smoke. This is why God talks about your words, the power of your words. When it's cold, what do? You see that that carbon, was it carbon dioxide? Carbon dioxide, I can't remember right now. You know what I'm talking about. The steam that comes in your mouth. The exhaust that comes out your mouth, right? When it's cold, you see it in the form of smoke or vapor, which is pretty much the same thing. But you get the point, right? You see what's going on? And we speak with our words. This is partly why when we preach, it's fire, because it's in our bones. And part of the lymphatic system is bone marrow, which is very, very interesting in itself. Let me get that for you real fast. I know I mentioned the shield, but I'll show you that in a minute. So bone, let me see, is bone marrow part. There you go, a part. Yeah, the lymphatic system. The tissues and organs that produce, store, and carry white blood cells that fight infections and other diseases. This system includes the bone marrow, spleen, thymus, lymph nodes, and lymphatic vessels, a network of thin tubes that carry lymph and white blood cells. Bone marrow. That is where your blood is produced. Are you seeing how all this is connected? You got to know this stuff. It's important for your health. It's important in regards to Bible prophecy, to know what they're doing so you can combat it. Now going back, let me hold on now. I want to make sure I do this right. Now you see, bone marrow ties in with the lymphatic system, right? We go back over here. You see a part of it is thyme, which literally means smoke. Now watch this. Bones as a fire. That's Jeremiah 20 verse 9. Then I said, I will not make mention of him, nor speak any more in his name, but his word was in mine heart, as a burning fire shut up in my bones. In the heart. The heart has blood in it, right? The body has blood in it, right? And I was weary with forbearing, and I could not stay, meaning that he said that, hey, I'm not gonna preach, I'm gonna leave the people alone. But he couldn't help it, because it was like a fire shut up in his bones. Well, as a burning fire shut up in his bones, but it was in his heart. The word was in his heart, like he had fire in his bones. There's an understanding of what happens in the bones. The bones, remember, the bones literally fuse together. A baby has, I think it was like 200 bones or something like that. And then the bones grow and they literally fuse. They literally melt together as one. This is the real science that God is talking about. All right, so we see how all this is working together. We know the body systems work together, right? Then you have the right lymphatic duct. You have the auxiliary lymph nodes. You see that's in your armpit area. And that's the one right there. It can swell up. Swell up right in that armpit. The spleen. Now, if the spleen ruptures or there's a problem with the spleen, then that means there's a problem with the lymphatic system. If there's a problem with the lymphatic system, that means that the blood is dirty. There's something going on with the blood. Which means it needs to be what? It needs to be cleansed. Those lymphatic nodes and lymphatic system needs to be cleansed and corrected. Then you have the cisterna. How do you pronounce that? Shyly. right up in here. You have the thoracic duct, and then you have these lymph nodes. You see they tracing all the way down to here, and that is going down to your groin area right there. That's where your V cut is. That's why I'm telling you that V cut that comes right here. Boom. Sometimes that will swell up, and you can literally feel it. You can literally feel it. I felt it before. I felt it before, even before I was saved, and I didn't know what it was. I was like, okay, dang, what's going on? You know how you are, like, okay. It go back normal or whatever, or you think it is normal when it's really letting you know something is going on. But when I became a man and I started to study this stuff, I'm like, oh, it swelled up. Something is going on. Then I go in there, and then I sit down and I think about, okay, have I been eating something I haven't been? Have I been eating stuff I've had no business eating? Did I have an allergic reaction to something? Because once you start to cleanse your body, you eat certain things, you're more sensitive to it. Just like when you reset your taste buds. You stop consuming all this garbage sugar, white table sugar. You reset your taste buds and you eat an apple. An apple will be super sweet. You be like, whoa. You be like, whoa, this apple is sweet. So I've had mine swell up. And then I knew something was up, and then I just, went in and I started eating more foods that can help, cleanse it out. As a matter of fact, since I'm talking about it, I'm going to, do that just because, it's also good to do this stuff for maintenance. But again, everybody has to do their own research and do this according to your doctor. I am not a medical professional. Hint, hint, hint. Though they'll flag the video for medical misinformation. All right, so we got that. Now I want to go back over to the post, and it says, again, a study found that inhaled particles from environmental pollutants accumulate over decades inside immune cells and lymph nodes associated with the lung, eventually weakening the cell's ability to fight respiratory infections. Now I said that's interesting because you know what? It's a respiratory infection, and people of color were affected by it more than anybody else. Lymphatic or lymphoid tissue is a kind of connective tissue. It consists of the following types of cells. Lymphocytes are white blood cells that provide an immune response that attacks specific kinds of non-self cells and foreign substances, or we know as antigens. Or antigens. See what I'm saying? They are foreign, but they have entered into the body. The Antichrist, he's a foreign substance, but he's masquerading himself like he is a part of the body. The lymph nodes filter out harmful substances and waste products. Therefore, if they are swelling up, they're letting you know, like, hey, there's something harmful in here that's causing a reaction, or it's full and it's not doing what it's supposed to do. So, hey, you need to check on that. They also contain immune cells called lymphocytes that destroy cancer cells and bacteria. Therefore, if the cancer is growing, that means that the lymph nodes in the lymphatic system is not properly working right. Now, we know there's going to be some damage to it because of the decay of the body, but we don't want to speed the process up. And who is all this affecting more? People of color, black people. But they don't tell you all this. I wonder why. Again, they also contain immune cells called lymphocytes that destroy cancer cells and bacteria. The filter fluid. Let me also add this. Your mucous membrane is a part of your lymphatic system. Dr. CB was telling people that they need to get rid of all the mucus in their body. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Your mucus serves as a protective barrier. Mucus serves as a protective barrier. You don't want to get rid of all your mucus in your body. Your mucus is actually what helps catch some of that bacteria, a lot of the bacteria, in fact. Just like you have mucus in your nose. Now, yes, your body can overly produce mucus, and there are foods and things that can contribute to that. And, you know, it just depends on the person. Some people aren't affected by dairy. Yes, we know dairy can increase mucus. But again, everybody's different. You sneeze, that mucus comes out. It has all that bacteria and stuff in there. That's why you have hair also. Hair is a protective layer, is a protective barrier. You have the hairs in your nose and stuff like that. Y'all with me? Are we understanding what's going on? There's something else I want to say about the mucus, if I can remember correctly. I don't want to forget, so y'all give me a second. Yeah. When you get a cold, you got the flu and everything, what happens? Your body produces more mucus. It's letting you know you're sick, but it's also producing more mucus to protect you from the foreign invader that's entered into your body. It's trying to catch them and get rid of them, which is why you sneeze. Sneeze it out. Get 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 it out. We see the same thing in the book of Revelation, lukewarm. I will spew thee out of my mouth because you're making me sick. You're making me sick. You are a foreign invader. You have masqueraded like you're a part of the body, but you are not. You are a virus that's not supposed to be here. The filter fluid is then returned to the blood circulation. Therefore, because the air is extremely dirty, along with other factors, the blood that is returned to circulation is extremely dirty. I want to read it one more time so you can get it. The filtered fluid is then returned to the blood circulation. Because that's what it does, right? Therefore, because the air is extremely dirty, along with other factors, the blood that is returned to circulation is extremely dirty. Let's go a little bit deeper with it. Sex flushes the lymphatic system and in turn strengthens the immune system. I told you sex was a weapon, didn't I? It can be used for good or it can be used for evil. Sex is first and foremost is spiritual, and spirit is what? Water, life, air. Air is water. We know we need water, right? God made Adam from what? From the dust. Dust is dry. Then he breathed water, life, spirit, air into him. Sex flushes the lymphatic system and in turn strengthens the immune system. When you engage in this type of physical activity and release, circulation is improved and the lymph system is drained. A lot of women say they're not being sexually pleased by men. Part of it is because most men do not understand the anatomy of a woman and what it means to please a woman. Not just sexually in the context of what we're speaking about. I did a video on this. Like I always say, it's deeper than what I put out. There's always something behind it. There's always something behind it. I don't just be making videos. I think I would talk about sex today because I'm a grown man. Hopefully you're a grown man and a grown woman. It's deeper than that. If I tell you, if you are a man, you need to understand the anatomy of a woman. Your job is to please your woman. And part of pleasing your woman is your woman climaxing. So those lymphatic systems can be flushed for her immune system to be strengthened. Come on now, this grown folks talk. This is that real science here. This is that real science. This is that real biblical science. This means less bloating, reduced brain fog, and a resilient immune system. Because majority of black folks' lymphatic system is jacked up. Sex doesn't strengthen the immune system. It damages it more and spread more immune system damaging diseases. Because if it's clogged up and you have bacteria and these different diseases and stuff in the blood because it's not being properly cleansed, a man goes into a woman, what happens? Blood touches blood. That's what Christ said. And now let's say, let's make it simple. You got a man and a woman. The man's lymphatic systems are clogged up on a scale of 1 to 10. I'm going to say 6. That female's lymphatic system is clogged up, let's say, a level 4. He goes into her. She's at a 4. He's at a 6. He gives her, you know what, right? His seed. He gives her all of it. So now, that 4 that she had, she also gets that 6. That's a level 10 that she's backed up and clogged up. Now let's say that he doesn't climax into her. There's still an exchange of bodily fluid because it's an exchange of spirit. And on the spiritual level, we talking about levels that we can't even register. I don't know how to put it on the scale. I mean, I can simplify it, but it's at a super duper higher level, right? But let's say that he does not ejaculate into her. There's still a passing of bodily fluids. So he may be a 6. He doesn't, leave his seed in her, but he still passes it on to her, some of it to her. So her 4 may increase to a 5 or a 6 in comparison to a 10. Now again, these are just basic numbers to keep it simple. It could be higher, it could be lower. You should hopefully get the point. And then she sleep with somebody else, sleep with somebody else, sleep with somebody else, or she continues to sleep with him. And those lymphatic systems are not properly cleansed, then you see where the issues come in at more and more and more and more. Then I say this is the biblical science of why you shouldn't fornicate. This stuff gets deep, y'all. All of what they are doing is a form of population control. What they've done is turn the black population into weaponized biological weapons. This is why they promote things among our people that they don't with others. They have weaponized not just black people, but, all people, but specifically black people. They have weaponized black people collectively, turning us into biological weapons of warfare to spread disease amongst ourselves, hoping to reduce the population, or at least create lifelong slaves where they can milk the resources out of each individual person as long as they can. So, like I said, it's not going to be a long video. It's just in my spirit to do this. Hopefully this answers some of your questions. Hopefully it gives you some more questions that you can ask God about and you can seek on your own. Hopefully it motivates you to eat healthier and do better and live righteous the way that you're claiming to live. With that being said, God bless each and every one of you in Jesus Christ's name. As always, stay focused for Jesus. And as you know, the truth is not debated, it is declared.